Hi guys, Harbs here. In this video we're going to be looking at two possible futures for the Githyanki. These two separate paths for the former slave race are defined by what happens to their lich queen, Vlaakith. Will she achieve divinity or will she be overthrown? This has been explored before in Dungeon Magazine number 100 from July 2003, which details an adventure where the players can attempt to destroy Vlaakith, and I'll be using the adventure in this magazine for a lot of this video, but I'll also be combining it with new information and lore that we have in more recent sources. Okay, let's go. Although it is true that Vlaakith is treated as a deity by her own people and she has even established her own caste of priests, she is not yet a deity, but she desperately wants to be one, largely at the expense of her people who she has told a great many lies to. It is suspected that Vlaakith may have had a hand in Gith's disappearance, the revolutionary leader who freed all of the Gith race from Illithid control. A few sages and spellcasters have sought to learn the truth about Gith's fate using arcane magic, only to fall victim to a bizarre curse that transforms them into the formless creatures known as Orlips. All attempts to learn about Gith through divine magic return utter silence. Those who try experience a strange sensation, as if their minds were teetering on the edge of a great abyss, one that spans time, space, and memory. It might be that Baldur's Gate 3 will offer us some answers to this, as many people have theories about the mysterious artifact inscribed with ancient Githyanki runes. However, the whereabouts of Gith is not the only thing that Vlaakith might be holding back. She also promises her greatest warriors the chance to meet Gith once more in paradise, but in reality she absorbs their power for herself. Narbs, the primary city of the Githyanki in the astral plane and the seat of Vlaakith's power, is actually built upon a dead god, known only as the One in the Void. Yes, all dead gods end up in the astral plane, as seen in 1996's A Guide to the Astral Plane. The power itself becomes comatose and fades away to the astral, taking on the form of a giant figure which slowly changes into crude stone. Most can easily be mistaken for huge, shapeless slabs of floating rock, yet power and energy still resides within the dead gods. It lies dormant within them, appearing only as dreams that play across their forms, and then it fades after time. Can this energy be tapped, exploited? Some bashers think so and have tried, some try still. In Dungeon Magazine 100 we can see the following. Unknown to all Githyanki except Vlaakith herself, the One in the Void was once a powerful, good-aligned deity, and despite being dead, divine remnants of its goodness still linger within these caves. This network of caves was once the still-beating heart of the One in the Void. There is also a map provided of this area where we can see the obvious signs that the dead god still has some divine power. In Area 40 we can find emotional residue of the god, and any creature that spends some time there feels an immense amount of hope. Area number 42 has healing qualities about it, and area number 44 allows good aligned creatures to feel the divine breath of the god and can sense a psychic wind passing through them. Although Vlaakith finds the caves abhorrent, she believes that she can capture the dead god's divine spark to attain godhood, and that the secret to capturing this divine spark lies within the dead god's heart. To do this, she has cast thousands of wish spells over many centuries and continues to do so. At number 49, within a nigh impregnable adamantine box which has been enchanted to no end and is guarded by a red dragon, we can find Vlaakith's phylactery. That box is itself inside a sarcophagus crafted of solid black crystal. The only way to open it is by either Vlaakith touching the item or by opening it with a special 4-piece key made out of astral drift metal in the shape of Vlaakith's symbol. Oh, and not to mention that you can't even enter the cave in the first place without a password. Now, in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, it does talk of red wizards of Thay who were accompanied by Githyanki knights, leaving a tunnel network on Narbs with an adamantine box. This box had a beating monstrous heart inside. However, I doubt that this is the phylactery, given that Vlaakith would be unwilling to trade it as a bargaining chip, and in Dungeon Magazine it is a piece of her flesh inside rather than a heart. Could this be the heart of the dead god? Well, this also seems unlikely, as the caves themselves are described as the heart, and therefore it would be massive. However, a demigod does reside within these caves. Could this heart be related to this being? Are the Red Wizards of Thay assisting Vlaakith in achieving divinity? If so, what are they getting out of it? In the Dungeon Magazine, we can see the following written if the players fail to destroy Vlaakith. If the PCs fail to destroy the Lich Queen and her phylactery, she will eventually achieve godhood by capturing the divine spark of the One in the Void. Vlaakith's rise to godhood does not come without cost. Quakes shatter the dead god into several pieces, and more than half of Tu Nareth's population perishes in the devastation. However, word of Vlaakith's ascendance begins spreading to every corner of every plane, and the Githyanki people enjoy a period of exultation, matched by the nearly overwhelming desire to crush their pitiful enemies in their goddess's unhallowed name. Whilst it is true that even now clerics can gain their powers from Vlaakith, as evidenced in Baldur's Gate 3, her actual ascent into divinity would trigger the already powerful Githyanki to try to dominate the known multiverse. In Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, we can see that Vlaakith is actually quite paranoid about unleashing the full might of the Githyanki forces upon the multiverse, in case one of her warriors becomes strong enough to challenge her. However, with Vlaakith as a deity, this will be beyond their reach, and there will be nothing stopping her unleashing her many thousands of warriors upon a number of worlds. It is also suspected that Vlaakith may try to replace the Githyanki altogether. It is certainly known that she will attempt to destroy the legacy of Gith, but she has also created a new race called the Gith, which most Githyanki despise. Originally created by an arcane spell of Vlaakith's devising, the Gith can now create progeny of their own, and their hatcheries can be found in many secret locations on the material plane. Gith are basically Githyanki with red dragon blood. Some Githyanki believe the Lich Queen has perverted the original pact created by Gith, and others fear that the Giths are the Mad Queen's attempt to perfect the Githyanki race, a grim harbinger of worse things to come. But what happens if the players manage to destroy Vlaakith? In the adventure exists a group called the Shasal, who in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes are described as follows. The Shasal is an organisation of Githyanki and Githzerai radicals working towards the reunification of their peoples. They want to bring about the end of the warfare between the Githyanki and Githzerai, and to create a new unified nation of all Gith. Members of the Shasal work secretly within their respective societies, subtly discouraging attacks on the other Gith race, while looking for signs of like-minded individuals who might be recruited. The goal of the organisation is to raise a proper army and establish a fortified enclave where children will grow up calling themselves simply Gith. The highest ranking advocate in the Githyanki hierarchy is a powerful warlord named Githzerai. This is also the case in the 3rd edition adventure within Dungeon Magazine 100, but secretly Githzerai actually wishes to overthrow Vlaakith and unite all Gith so that he can continue Gith's legacy of conquering the multiverse. We can see the logic behind the Shasal when 2 Githyanki lieutenants attempt to recruit the player characters to their cause. Hatred is a powerful force. Long ago, the Gith used hatred to overcome the tyranny of the Illithids. In the aeons since, we've allowed hatred to rule and weaken us. If the Gith are to survive, we must focus our hatred on the ones who shackled us, repair the damage that war has wrought, and reunite our people. This is the way of the Shasal. We are not alone in our beliefs, but we are admittedly few in number. The adventure does recommend that the player characters are also Gith, so as to provide a proper motivation, but this isn't completely necessary. All the players have to do to complete this adventure is enter the heart of a dead god, destroy Vlaakith's phylactery, and then head on over to the Palace of Whispers, where they will navigate its dangerous and maddening halls to finally face a mad Lich Queen. If they destroy Vlaakith, then the adventure is over. As you can imagine, the adventure is only for high-level characters. Immediately following the death of Vlaakith, the earthquakes rocking Tunareth will cease as the dead god returns to a total state of rest. The Palace of Whispers, also known as Susurrus, will release all of its trapped souls. These souls are the remnants of creatures that were killed by the Lich Queen and then trapped inside the palace. Without these souls, the palace will collapse in on itself. The adventure does say that ancient prophecies foretell that when things look bleakest for the Githyanki people, Gith will return to save her people from despair. Until Gith returns, the Githyanki must find a new leader to replace Vlaakith. Although Githzerai has the charisma to gain a political foothold, some of his beliefs are radical and unpopular, and he has many competent rivals. Conflicts between power-hungry warlords leave the Githyanki people in turmoil for years to come. So Vlaakith's death could actually trigger a period of instability, which could allow certain powerful conclaves of Illithids, like that of the city of Arundel upon Toril, to operate more openly once more. Ultimately, the best case scenario here would be if Vlaakith did not achieve godhood, and the shasal coup united the Githyanki and Githzerai without the need to dominate the known multiverse. I feel like 5th edition is building up to some kind of big event for the Githyanki, especially with their prominence in Baldur's Gate 3, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video then do please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!